Hey everybody, and welcome back to Live, Laugh, Love Lesbian, a podcast for the girlies, the gays, and the theys. What do we think of the new introduction, guys? I just thought let's try it out. Let's see if we prefer that. So let me know if you prefer the original introduction or today's introduction. Let me know. That was scary doing something different because it's been the same for literally like 30 episodes, so we're switching it up. Let me know what you think. But yeah, welcome back to Live, Laugh, Love Lesbian. I am your host and your resident lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor, and I'm here to share your dilemmas, answer your questions, and of course share your wildest lesbian dating stories. And let me tell you, we have some good ones to get on into today. But first, let's have a little catch up. How are we all doing? Have we had a good week? It's been a week since I last spoke to you all, and I genuinely I look forward to filming days so much. I film the podcast on a Tuesday morning or afternoon. It's very much the afternoon. It's 1:30 on a Tuesday. And then Tuesday evenings when I get back from work, I edit the podcast. And then Wednesday mornings, I'm trying this new thing because basically the Wi-Fi in my house is so horrifically bad. It takes me about a day to upload the podcast. I'm not joking. If I press upload on Wednesday morning, it's literally going to take until Thursday morning. That's why an episode was late a few weeks ago, because the Wi-Fi was so bad, it took so long to upload. And then I was on a shoot with a brand a few weeks ago and it was on a Wednesday, and I was like, I'll just take my laptop there and hopefully it'll upload whilst I'm there. Guys, I'm not kidding. It uploaded in about 5 minutes, if that. I literally pressed upload and it went 100% episodes processed. I was like, what? So my new thing on a Wednesday morning is going to some cute little coffee shop or, somewhere for breakfast or lunch if I've got time, and then uploading the podcast there on their Wi-Fi, and it seems to be going much quicker. But yeah, I look forward to my little podcast section of the week. I normally put some TikToks up around the weekend, getting answers for the question of the week, getting some more dilemmas sent in. So I always look forward to reading the answers to the question of the week and seeing how many dilemmas we get sent in. Then on Tuesdays I'll film, Wednesdays I'll go to somewhere to upload it, and then Thursdays I just get to sit and enjoy seeing you all loving the episode. I also normally on Wednesday evenings I'll film the little social media clip of the episode as well to edit that together to post on social medias to hopefully find some new listeners who might see the TikTok and then go, oh my god, that's up my street, I'm going to come and listen. But yeah, that's just what I do throughout the week to get ready for the podcast. But I hope you guys have all had a lovely week. I don't really think I have anything cool to update you guys on. Nothing that exciting is happening in my life. Is there? There are some cool things coming up, but I can't really tell you about them yet. So we'll just say nothing exciting has really happened, especially not over the past week. Had a little Galentine's night with some of my friends. That was quite cute. We just had a little game night. We played Pass the Parcel, which was really fun. And then the winner got a vibrator, which I thought was really funny. And then we did this quiz because it was two of my friends' birthdays in February, as well as having the Galentine's night. So we had a little birthday quiz for them. And I think I proved that I have a shit memory, because literally the first question was, when are the girls' birthdays? And I was like, not a clue. Bearing in mind, I've been friends with one of these girls literally since we were babies. So I guessed the 4th and the 12th, and I think the answers were the 9th and the 18th, but I could still be lying about that. And I was like, oh my god, I'm a terrible friend. But then I ended up getting I think I got 15 out of 18, so I made up for it. And I just thought, what a bad friend, not knowing my friends' birthdays. But I feel who really remembers people's birthdays? That's what Facebook's there to remind you of, what Instagram. When someone else posts happy birthday, I'm brilliant. I will also post happy birthday and send you a card in the post. That's how I work anyway. I think literally the birthdays I know Taylor's birthday, I know my dad's, I know my mum's, I know my granny's, I know mine. I think that's it. I'm really bad at remembering birthdays, so anyone watching, I apologise if I ever have forgotten your birthday. It's not because I don't love you, it's just because I don't remember birthdays. But yeah, did a lot of Galentine's night, and honestly I genuinely think that's the only thing I did last week that is of any interest or relevance to you all. So shall we just get straight on into this week's episode? Are we all excited? I'm really excited for this week's question of the week. It's quite a wholesome question of the week. But yeah, shall we jump straight on into this week's episode? How exciting. I'm just going to bring up your guys' answers to the question of the week. And this week's question of the week is, what is something that made you feel or realise that it's okay to be gay? So let's have a little read through some of your guys' answers. Realising that there was a whole community of us. I think that's so important, isn't it? Like having that community, having that safe space where there's other people who are queer and you can sort of look around and you're not a minority. And that was really one of the reasons that I wanted to create this podcast. I had a meeting with my management the other day, and my manager Lucy was asking me, like, what do you sort of want to, what's the main goal with the podcast? And I was like, honestly, I just want to create a community, because I know that so many people don't have them queer friends or queer, anybody queer in their lives to look up to talk to ask the questions to. Like, it's horrible being, especially, realising you're queer, especially if you're a little bit younger and you can't just go out and like make those friends because you're at school or at uni or whatever. I just think it's so important to have somebody that you can ask them questions to, because if I didn't have my friend who I was able to go to, honestly, I feel like I don't even know if I would have been comfortable enough to come out as gay, because she was really one of the only people that I knew was gay, and I was comfortable enough to like ask her, like, how do you have sex with a girl? Because it's not spoken about enough. So really what I want with this podcast is just to create that community. And, I'm still trying to create an Instagram broadcast channel. It's on the to-do list. I think I don't maybe have enough followers yet. So go and follow my Instagrams. You can follow either, whichever one gets the amount of followers first. I'll either make it on my personal Instagram, which is at Juliet Francis T, or Live Laugh Love Lesbian .podcast on Instagram. Whilst you're there, follow us on TikTok. We're the same on TikTok for mine, and the podcast is just .pod because podcast was too long. Yeah, I want to create like an Instagram broadcast channel where we can just like chat and just like have these like open conversations and just like make some queer friends, because I definitely don't have loads. I probably don't help myself. Like I don't go out a lot, but I'm not really a going out type of person, but I just think it's so important to have that network and a community around you, especially if you're coming out. If you've been out for a while, I think it's maybe not as bad, but when you're recently coming out and you have like no other queer friends and no queer people to look up to, it's so difficult. Like I had one of my kids that I teach dance to come out to me literally yesterday, and oh my god, my heart melt. Like I literally felt tears in my eyes. Like we didn't even make it, like she didn't even say it as like, it wasn't like making it like a big deal. She was just like, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend now. And I was like, oh, I literally was tearing up. I was so happy for her, and it just makes me so happy that she's comfortable telling me that. And yeah, I just want to be there for you all and have this safe little community where we can chit chat about all the stuff that you maybe can't chit chat to normal family members and friends about. That was a long ramble. Let's get back to your answers. I actually replied to this comment and I just put, for sure, I think the women's football community really helped me. And then this person replied again and said, yeah, for me it was lesbian music and friends coming out to me. Next one, when my best friend came out to me. I love that. Girl in red. Yeah, I see that. When my best friend is homophobic, but she accepted me. I don't know how to feel about that one. Like, oh yeah, I hate gay people, but I'll accept you. Like, so what, when I get a girlfriend, are you going to accept them? Are you going to hate them? Are you going to be going to like anti-gay protests, but being like, oh yeah, my best friend's gay, so I'm not like, I don't really know how I feel about that one, but at least your best friend is accepting of you. The Last of Us, I've not seen that. Is that a film? It must be a film with like gay characters in. I tell you what, one of my favourite like gay series is, and it's probably not even gay because there's just one gay, well, a few gay characters. Sex Lives of College Girls with Renee Rapp. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with that. If you've not seen the Sex Lives of College Girls, I think it's available on BBC, and I'm sure there's a new season coming out soon. I'm obsessed. Let me know. Are you? I always get the character's name wrong as well. Are you team Leighton and Tatum or Leighton and Alicia, or is it Alicia? I always get it wrong, but you know who I mean. I'm sure we spoke about this on the podcast before as well. But yeah, let me know if you're team Leighton and Alicia or Leighton and Tatum. Anyway, gay influencers and their comment sections. I love that. I play football. That's all I need to say. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know what it is with women's football. Like, it just seems that a large majority of players and fans are gay. And I don't really follow many other sports, so I don't know if that's the case with other sports. If like, I mean, I've definitely seen a lot of like queer basketballers on my For You page, but like, I feel like you don't really see like queer netball players. Do you know what I mean? Like, the women's football community seems to be like a heavily gay community, which I think is incredible. Yeah, I play football, that's all I need to say. I love that. Actually being happy being myself. I love that. I feel like this question is kind of like, you know, it does make you think like, am I 100% happy as myself? Like, do I fully accept myself? Like, I sometimes even think I have like still slight internalized homophobia. And I feel like most gay people do, because it's sort of what we've been like taught to be like in a way. Do you know, like, no one's telling you like, oh, gay people are bad, but I mean, some people are, in America especially. But like, I was thinking about this. I made a TikTok actually about like how I'll always say my partner, not my girlfriend, when I meet new people. Because like, you do have to almost put them walls up to protect yourself, because you don't know how this person is going to react. Like, I'll, you know, sort of try and gauge the person. If they're like an older person, maybe I'll go for partner. But no, I'll go for girlfriend. But if it's someone maybe like similar to my age, or someone who looks to be like an accepting person, I'll say girlfriend. But it's so scary, like making yourself so vulnerable in those situations. Like, this question actually really got me thinking, like, am I 100% happy in myself? And I do think I am, and I am getting so much better at just saying girlfriend, and, you know, not caring what that other person thinks. Like, I'm probably never going to see you again, or if I am going to see you again, like, you're not going to care. Do you know what I mean? But it's so scary just opening up and being that vulnerable with someone, being like, oh yeah, my girlfriend, especially when you don't look gay, so it's not, someone's probably not already assuming it. Like, me and Taylor were out for breakfast one time, and we go to the same place like fairly often, probably like once a week, once every fortnight. And like, obviously it's like a similar rotation of staff, so we see like the same staff members. And one of them was like, are you guys like sisters or best friends? And we were like, oh no, like we're together. And I don't honestly think she understood what we meant, but honestly sometimes it's easier just to be like, oh yeah, we're sisters or friends. And I think I spoke about it when we had that thing happen to us in London, and the police we had to go and give witness statements to the police, and they both just assumed we were friends, and we just both went along with it because it's just easier sometimes. But yeah, I'm really happy for this person, you know, just fully being happy in yourself. Heartstopper. Guys, I'm going to admit something really bad. I've actually not seen Heartstopper, and I've heard such wonderful things. One of my best friends was actually in the most recent season. She was the shopkeeper. I did watch that specific scene. Like, someone was trying to like buy something, but they were just like telling Georgina, my friend, about like how fabulous their girlfriend was, and she was like, that's £5.50 please, or like however much it was. And I remember she made a TikTok about it, and some people were being so mean, being like, you weren't even in it, I didn't even see you. And I was replying like, yes she was the shopkeeper. Like, I'll defend my friends until God knows what. But yeah, so my friend was actually in it, so that's the only scene I've seen, but I definitely should watch it because I've heard lovely things about it. Okay, next one. Honestly, no clue, but it might be the people I surround myself with and the WOSO community, because it's just the best thing ever. 100% agree. I actually don't know what WOSO stands for. I know it's women's football related. Shall we Google it? Do you think it'll know? Do Google will know? What does WOSO stand for? Women's soccer? Just women's soccer. Oh, okay. What does, yeah. WOSO, or WOSO, that's the same thing, may refer to WOSO. Makes no sense. I think it's just like women's soccer, women's football. Yeah, 100% agree. I think getting into women's football was such an incredible thing for me, seeing like so many other gay people, and I've made so many incredible friends like through that community, which is just amazing. So yeah, shout out to everyone from the WOSO community. Next one. That I am who I am, and that's just that. And just because I love every soul for who they are, but every soul is going to love me back for who I am as a person. The other side of my brain knows that my personality is anything over something that doesn't define me. That's so true. Like, knowing like in my core as a person, I'm a good person. whether you don't think I am because I'm gay, like that's not going to change who I actually am. I love that. My ex. My friends who are all LGBTQIA+, and my family being accepting when I came out. I feel like that's a big one for a lot of people, like to realise, like if you're thinking like, is it okay to be gay? Should I tell my family? You tell your family, they're accepting, you're like, brilliant. It's okay that I'm gay, like I'm accepted by my family. I can carry on like living a happy life at home. Great, I'm happy. But I feel like if you have the reverse of that and you don't have a good coming out with your family, you're then probably feeling, okay, well, it's not okay to be gay because my family don't accept it, and now I'm going to have to hide who I am at home because my family aren't accepting of me being gay. So that is a really big one, I think. Pardon me. Seeing people openly talk about it online, 100%. I think queer representation in the media, in TV and film and music, like it is growing so much. Like I really do not remember growing up to like many, if any, queer people on the TV in music, whereas now like we are blessed, especially like music, you know, we've got Billie Eilish. Also, how the hell did Billie not win a Grammy? How did she not win a Grammy? I'm so confused. But we've got Billie, we've got Chapel, we've got Renee, we've got Toad Bird. Like there's so many queer artists out there in TV and film, even in shows like The Sex Lives of College Girls, which is predominantly about straight people. They're adding gay narratives. Like there's shows like Heartstopper that, again, I've not seen it, but from what I've seen, it's very much centered around gay couples, and it's, you know, having that representation, seeing it in the media, seeing gay influencers, and hopefully people like seeing this podcast and our like little community. I know we're hardly as big as some other podcasts and, you know, communities, but seeing this and, you know, just people being able to see gay people in the media, I do think is so important. That no one around you actually cares what you do or who you're with. And you know what, I kind of agree with that, because like I went to the shops the other day when I was going to my friend's Valentine's party. It was a pyjama party. I went to the Co-op on the way there in my pyjamas. No one batted an eyelid. Like people are so fixated on themselves and what they're doing and what they look like. A lot of the time they don't even have time to like process what you're doing or what you look like. I was going to wear the same outfit for two things last week, and I knew I was going to see some people who'd been at both things, and I was like, oh my god, are they going to like, oh my god, you're wearing the same outfit again? And I was like, I don't remember what they wore like the other day, so they're not going to remember what I wore the other day. So I do think when you can have that just completely like fuck it mindset of being like, I don't care what you think of me, like, but a lot of the time people probably aren't even thinking that deeply into it because everyone's so fixated on their own lives. So yeah, it's very true. When you just think they actually don't care, they're not batting an eyelid, I'm just going to carry on being me. Women's football and the players being open, I think that's a really big one. And I think that I do see on TikTok like a lot of like younger queer women's football fans, and I just think having them like role models in women's football media and things like that, it is so important. So I love that. Women loving women people in TV shows, 100%. Again, that representation is so important. And then the final one, Jesus. I don't know if this person means Jesus made me realise it was okay to be gay, or they're like, Jesus, at the comments, like, Jesus Christ, help me, I'm surrounded by gays. And this person's TikTok name was Daughter of Christ. I don't know if you mean Jesus in a good way or a bad way, but thanks for commenting and boosting the engagement anyway. So they were our answers to the questions of the week, and I hope for maybe anyone listening who's maybe not been feeling that it's okay to be gay, maybe they've been feeling like, you know, having to like suppress their feelings, after listening to those things from other people, they may be feeling a little bit more comfortable in themselves. So shall we get into some dilemmas? I'm excited, guys, we've got some good ones today. So let's skip back to the first one. Okay, here we go. Hi Juliet, I'd just like your advice or any help on how I can become someone like yourself. I admire your confidence and identity and would like to progress myself into something bigger. I'd really like to become an influencer or model and express myself with confidence and inspire others. I have a huge interest in fashion, modelling, beauty and self-care, and was wondering if you had any ideas. Is it raining? Oh my god, that's just come out of nowhere. Can you guys hear that rain? Bloody hell. I think the microphone's on noise cancelling mode, so so loud, do you mind? Sorry, back to this. I was wondering if you had any ideas on how I could progress this to social media. You are so inspirational to others and I look forward to hearing back from you. Oh, that is really sweet. Thank you so much for reaching out. I think honestly, with like confidence and making it on social media, you just have to have the balls. And again, have that like fuck it mindset. Like it's so hard sometimes like posting and getting 200, 300 views and being like, oh my God, like why is no one seeing this? No one cares. Like people are probably laughing at me thinking, oh my God, my post just got like 20 likes, but that's 20 people. If my podcast, like we average about, I think it's like 160 downloads per week. To me, that is huge. Like that blows my mind. That's not listeners, that is just people who download the podcast. To some big podcasts out there, that is probably like 1% of their listeners. But to me, that is huge. And I think you just have to like actually really sit and like deep that. If your posts get 20 Instagram likes, imagine a room with 20 people. Like that is a lot of people. And just having that confidence to keep posting and really focus on that like community engagement, like build a community, build that respect with your audience and just keep posting and don't like be put off by not getting loads of likes and comments and followers instantly because like I always say, I'm loving building this podcast. I didn't want it just to be handed to me and gone, okay, here's a podcast with a community and loads of downloads and you're going to make loads of money from it. Here you go, straight away. Like I want to like work for it and I'm really enjoying the journey and the process and like learning new ways of being able to like interact with people and find people to interact with the podcast. Like it's all about being on a journey and good things come to those who wait. So just keep cracking on and with confidence. If you don't have it, just fake it till you make it. Literally just put on this like little facade and just tell yourself that you're confident and believe in yourself. And I believe in you. All the podcast girlies, gays and theys believe in you. So you got this and we love you. And thank you so much for reaching out. Okay, moving on. In true woman-loving woman fashion, I have been on 2 dates with a girl and I have feelings, but I don't think she's reciprocating. The reason I think that is because we have like one message exchanged per day and that's my quota. She leaves me undelivered for like 18 hours at a time, but then when she does message me, she seems interested and enthusiastic and just asks me out on a 3rd date. I desperately need to know if I'm insane if I'm insane and this is just a difference in communication styles or whether I should take the hint that she's not that bothered about talking to me. Please help a girl out. I mean, the fact that she's asked you on a 3rd date, I feel like is a sign that she's definitely interested. Like, what does she do for work? I mean, does she work somewhere where she literally like cannot have her phone on her? Like it's got to be like locked in a box or like left at home. And that could be why. Like I remember when I was first like talking to girls from Tinder, there was this one girl who her replies were so shit. Like she replied, like it was so bad. And I completely understand, like it is off-putting. Like I think eventually I just stopped replying to this girl too because I was like, I'm not giving my time to someone who's not going to give me that time back. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that is a completely fair call to make if you're thinking, I need that communication, I need that reassurance, I need to speak to you more than like 18 hours at a time, I need to speak to you more frequently in them 18 hours than once. Like it's totally fine if you're like, that is not for me. But I say go on the 3rd date and just speak to her, you know, find out what does she do for a job. Like, is she just not a very like on her phone type of person? Or if you like really can see things progressing with her, like just be open and honest and have that conversation and say like, I am somebody who, you know, gets a bit nervous and on edge when I don't hear back from someone. Like, you know, I really need that communication to be there and that reassurance. Like, do you think you could just like send me a message a few times throughout the day just so I know that like you still want to be with me and stuff like that? Because we all do it, don't we? We all like don't hear from our girlfriend. Like Taylor always phones me on her drive home from work. And granted, sometimes I'll answer the phone and be like, I'm busy, I'll just see when you're home. But like if she didn't do that, I'd be like, why didn't she call me back? Like you think in your mind, like you think of all the possible outcomes that it could be. She doesn't love me anymore, something's happened, like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You can go into a complete spiral. But I think just be honest with this girl if you do genuinely like her and you can see a bit of a future with her. And just say that, listen, I do need that more frequent communication. I really like you, I can really see a future with you, but none of your communication shit. Maybe don't put it like that. But yeah, I think go on the 3rd date, 100%. And you're saying when she's texting you, she seems interested and she seems enthusiastic. And she might be completely different in person. Do you know what I mean? She might like, you know, not show signs of like not being a very like communicative, I can't speak, communicative, is that even a word? I don't know, person. But yeah, I think just speak to her, see how the date goes. If you like really like her, not interested, then, you know, just say I need better communication. But as I think even if she tells you, listen, I'm a doctor who does surgeries all day, like I can't just quickly reply to a Snapchat whilst I'm performing brain surgery on someone, it'll help you understand better the reason why she isn't communicating with you. And then, you know, maybe you just like FaceTime when she gets home from her 7th brain surgery of the day, I don't know. But yeah, hope that helps. Okay, here is a long one. Sorry in advance. Don't be sorry. I live for the long stories and dilemmas. I think I'm falling out of love with my girlfriend. I met my girlfriend in 2017. Back then we were just kids, 10 and 12. Oh my God, you were babies. Were you in love then? We saw each other only very rarely, but when we did, it was like we were never apart. We finally got together about a year and a half ago now, August 2024. Okay, so like you just met when you were kids and then like you saw each other frequently. And then a year and a half ago, you got together. So cute. We live about 2 hours apart and I usually visit her on the weekends. She has a lot of mental health issues and I also deal with depression, but she has a few more problems than me. In the beginning, it was great. We said, I love you pretty early into the relationship and I really liked being in a relationship. As it went on though, I often felt like I couldn't speak about certain topics because I was concerned about her mental health. I felt like I was walking on eggshells most of the time with her. That is not ideal, really, is it? Also, we mainly talked about her problems. I know I could have just told her when I had problems to deal with, but I never had the feeling of complete trust with her. I don't tell people all my problems, except if they are really close and I know that they will understand me. I didn't have that feeling with her. She often didn't understand my point of view. She has more brains than heart. All of my problems were looked at from a purely logistical, I can't speak today, a purely logical standpoint. I only wanted someone who would listen to me and try to understand my feelings. I feel like that's like, I understand like she is suffering as well, but in a relationship, like you should both be able to like share your problems and help each other heal, because what do they say? A problem shared is a problem halved. Like if you can share that problem with someone, even just like telling them, it should take a weight off your shoulders. But the fact that it hasn't done that because she's clearly just like not helping and not really taking your problems into consideration because she's like, well, yeah, mine are worse. Like that's really unfair to you. Let's carry on. She often joked about how bad her mental health was, making, trigger warning, suicide jokes. At some point she even said, if we break up, I'm not going to survive that. That made it really hard for me to address my concerns about our relationship. Yeah, it's so difficult when people act like that. Like, you know, I feel like there's a difference between joking about that and like actually knowing deep down that that person means what they're saying. They're not just joking, be like, oh, I couldn't live without you. Like they fully mean that. And that is a lot of pressure to have on yourself, especially like you said, if you're feeling maybe not 100% in this relationship and you're wanting to leave, you don't want that on your conscience if something does happen to that person, do you? Where was I up to? This made it really hard for me to address my concerns about the relationship. Nevertheless, we eventually talked about some of these topics. I wanted to have a break from the relationship where we both work on our mental health and see if we can try again when we're doing better. I feel like that is like very putting your big girl pants on of you, like just saying we need some space, we need to both work on ourselves and then come back to each other when we're healed. She begged me to stay with her and basically said, now or never, either stay in this relationship or leave. I really feel like this person does just need to like go and like get some therapy and get some like professional help before they're like coming back to this relationship. She didn't want to go on a break. She also said that the suicide comments were just jokes and I shouldn't have taken it so seriously, but I could tell she genuinely did feel bad. She also apologised and said she's going to try and cope differently. Okay, at least she's like acknowledging that she's made you feel bad. I agreed to try and save the relationship because I also saw that she was trying to get better and she was putting effort in. But deep down, I knew that it wouldn't be the same anymore. I knew that I didn't love her anymore. I just don't trust her. I don't know why. I wonder, like, if there's something that she's done in the past, or like if it is just genuine, like the way that she makes you feel and you just can't 100% trust her. But to me, like, that's telling me everything I need to know. Like, we're not even quite at the end of it yet, but yeah. I feel like when you just know in your heart, like, you're not 100% in love with someone, like, it's not fair on either of you to keep the relationship going because you're not able to give this person the, like, commitment and love they want, and also you're just stopping yourself from finding that person that you are going to be 100% committed to. Let's finish it off. Keep losing my place. Da, 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 da. She trusts me so deeply. She loves me. She tells me that I'm beautiful. I feel so bad for not giving this back, but I just can't. I've been pretty distant for quite some time now, and I don't know how to tell her what I feel. What should I do? Okay, I feel like we've, like, pretty much come to the conclusion that, like, you're not going to stay together. Like, I think it's such a beautiful story. Like, you met when you were young, like, you saw each other frequently, and then you got together. I feel like the distance as well, you said you're like 2 hours away, probably isn't helping. Like, the fact that you're only seeing each other on weekends, pardon me, that's not your dilemma, that's boring me. It's my tiredness because I went to bed really late last night. But yeah, like, the distance won't be helping. Like, it's so freaking hard to do long distance, especially when there are bumps in the road on the relationship, because it's so hard to, like, work things out over text or even FaceTime. Like, it's so much easier just to talk to someone in person, and then, you know, you can hug it, kiss it out. Like, you can't do that over the phone, especially, like, when you're only seeing each other on weekends. Like, if she's, like, texting you a lot of these things that she said, you know, you sometimes perceive texts different as well to how someone actually means things. Yeah, I feel like you've already talked yourself out of the relationship, but I think the best thing you can do now for yourself and this other person is you just have to say, like, listen, I'm not, you know, invested in this relationship anymore. Like, I think I mentally checked out of it a while ago. Like, you know, I mentioned about going on a break and doing some healing, and I fully believe that, like, that's what I need to go and do. Like, I need to go and heal, and I think you could probably benefit from some healing as well. And then I think the best thing you can do after, you definitely need to speak to her and just say, listen, I'm taking a step back. I'm distancing myself from this relationship. Like, it could work again in the future, but I think after that, you need to go no contact, because I do feel like otherwise this person is just going to keep messaging you. They're going to keep hounding you. They're going to be giving you these, I can't live without you. Like, I'm, you know, all of these, like, things that you don't want on your conscience. You don't want to have that as a burden to your life. I think you just need to distance yourself from her. And then, you know, maybe once you've done this inner work and done some healing, you might feel comfortable to go back to the relationship and say, you know, I've done this healing. I feel like I'm ready to be committed with you again. And then maybe she will be too, or maybe she'll say, no, listen, I've done some healing too, and I've moved on from that. And then, you know, that's that. But I definitely think you need a break from this person. They just seem like they're not doing any benefits for you and your mental health, especially when you said that you suffer with mental health issues as well. I feel like, unfortunately, this person is only making them worse. So I think, yeah, you just need to distance yourself from this person, but you need to have a conversation about it. I don't think you can just keep distancing yourself. I think you need to speak to this person and just say, listen, I'm going to be taking a step back. I'm not going to be calling or texting. I'm not going to come over on the weekends for a month, 2 months. Don't put a time frame on it. You know, just say, I need to step back for my own mental health's sake. And then I think the way that this person reacts will be, like, very telling to if there's going to be a future, because I feel like they are just going to react like they did before. But no, I don't need to go on a break. I was joking about the ththings I said, like, I love you, and try and, like, almost love bomb you to stay in the relationship. But you just need to take a step back and no, because it's not fair on you at the end of the day. But yeah, I hope that helps, and I hope that the situation is resolved with as little, like, pain and heartbreak as possible. Okay, let's do a bit of a funny dilemma to lighten the mood a bit. I went on a coffee date with this girl I'd been chatting with for a few weeks. It was going so well, and at the end of the day I said, thanks for a great time, Lucy. She just stared at me and said, my name's Chloe. Imagine, oh my god. I wonder if you've been, like, chatting to a few girls and, like, that was the name of a girl, you'd also be like speaking to, or if you were just like genuinely confused. Oh, I don't like, how do you even dig yourself out of that hole? Like, how do you even, I feel like if I was like even 99.9% sure of a name, even if it's like 0.01%, I could get the name wrong, I just wouldn't say their name. I just thought, oh, thanks for a great time, babe. Like, you know, just not anything but the name, just a babe, a baby, or even just thanks for a good time. And then, oh my God, like, do I follow you on Instagram? Do you want to type your Instagram in on my phone and then see the name on the Instagram? I feel like I'd have to do that. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. I wanted to disappear. Turns out I'd been talking to someone called Lucy on a dating app at the same time and completely mixed them up. She didn't seem too fussed, but there was definitely no second date. Oh my God. At least like you did just pluck a name out of nowhere. I don't know what's worse actually, just plucking a random name out of nowhere or it being the name of another girl that you were speaking to on a dating app. I don't know what's worse. At least she didn't like completely take it to heart and like kick off with you. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, maybe like there could have been a second date and you could have just like laughed about it, but I feel like, yeah, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Maybe you need to take the other one out on a date. What was her actual name? Her actual name was Chloe and you called her Lucy. Yeah, maybe you need to take Chloe on a date, but don't call Chloe Lucy. Imagine if like Chloe and Lucy were secretly best friends as well. Oh my God, I went on this date with this girl and she called me Lucy, and she's like, oh my God, I don't want to date with this girl and she called me Chloe. That would be crazy. Okay, moving on. I'm getting too into that story. Hey, Juliet. Hey. I was on a first date with this girl at a restaurant and it went so well. I offered her my jacket when I walked her to her car because it was chilly. Fast forward to the next morning, I realised my purse and car keys were in the jacket pocket. How did you manage that? Did she like drop you home in her car because you walked her to her car? It's like your car was at home. Oh my God. Yeah, fast forward to the next morning, I realised my purse and car keys were in the jacket pocket. I had to text her and ask if we could meet up so I could get them back. She thought it was hilarious and joked that she'd hold them hostage until I promised to go on a second date. It worked though, we ended up dating for a few months. That's crazy. But yeah, I feel like she must have been taking you home. It's like you were like, oh, here's my jacket, like being all cute and romantic. She's like, oh, I'll drop you home. You're like, oh, thank you. She's not taken the jacket off. She's dropped you off at home. You've gone out. I'm assuming your house keys weren't attached to your car keys because my house keys are. So if someone had my car keys, I then can't get into my house. So thankfully you must have had your house keys like separate, or someone must have been home to let you in. And then you realise the next morning. At least she gave them back. At least, because it was a first date, she could have been like, I'm going to keep this purse and keep the car keys, steal your car, steal your money, and block you on Instagram. Never speak to you again. So I feel like you got lucky. And the fact that you went on a few more dates after, I love that for you. But yeah, that's so brilliant. Should we do one more? Let's do one more, guys. Okay. I just clicked off them. Come back to me. What is some advice that you would give to your younger self about being gay and accepting it? Isn't that weird? That's like really similar to this week's question of the week. So what's some advice? I think I would just say to myself, like, sort of like what we said earlier with the question of the week, just don't care what other people think of you, because like you spend so long worrying, like, what are they going to think of how I speak, how I dress, how I act, like when I tell them that I'm gay. And like we said earlier, like a lot of people actually don't care. They're so focused on themselves. Yeah, like don't be afraid, just 100% be you and be proud of who you are. Like don't feel like you have to hide it to please other people. Like why are you living your life to please other people? Live your life to please yourself. And if you piss a few people off along the way because they don't like the fact that you're gay, literally go fuck yourselves, because I'm not changing who I am just to like fit into your like idea of what society should look like and what a lesbian should look like and things like that. So I think just that, and then again on like the what a lesbian should look like be proud in how you are, how you dress, what you do with your life, and don't sort of feel like you have to like fit into this like lesbian stereotypy box that all lesbians dress and act and look a certain way, because that is like so far from true. So yeah, just 100% be yourself and be proud and happy in who you are. And I think that advice can, you know, really translate to anyone in life, not even just people who are, you know, little baby gays in the closet, just to anyone in life. Just don't give a fuck what other people think about you, basically. You do you, and who gives a crap what other people say. I feel like that is a nice note to wrap up this week's episode on. So guys, thank you all so much for listening. If you have a dilemma, if you have a story for me, if you have a question for me, head to the show notes or over to our social medias, click onto our Google form and you can send one in. No story is too long, too short, too juicy, not juicy enough. We love them all here. Send me any questions, literally anything. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. Yeah, I'd love to know like your craziest lesbian dating stories and things like that. They always put a smile on my face, and I'm sure you put a smile on all of our listeners' faces too. Follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube, turn on notifications. So every Thursday you can watch episodes as soon as they come out. Leave us a review on podcasts. I'm trying to think like what else you can do to help the podcast. Yeah, leave us a review definitely on Apple and Spotify. I don't know where else you can leave a review. Get involved with the question of the week. So I normally post it on mainly TikTok and on Instagram too. And yeah, guys, I will speak to you all next week for our next episode. Have a fabulous week. Stay gay, stay fabulous. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye.